Hi, my name's Jonathan Hicks. I'm back at the Dice Cup, and this evening I'm joined by
Matt, Steve.
Hey Bob. We've just finished playing Castle Dukes, which, as you can see, is a kind of dexterity castle building game. Each round, you first of all buy rooms. You get a bit of cash to spend, and there's a selection of rooms available here. You can see the cheapest one costs 1 coin at the bottom through to 5 coins at the top. But if you buy the more expensive rooms, then you get extra items of furniture or serfs or coffers to store your treasure in, which you can add to your castle. But each room, if I take one of these as an example, will let you attract certain types of people. So this one will store a knight if he turns up in your castle, and it also adds possibly defense or offense here. That's what the swords are for. Or there's also like a comfort rating. Each castle has in front of it this sort of now what do you call this, portcullis thing? You can see you've got 3 ratings. One is your comfort of your castle, then your defense and your attack, which is going to be important when the dragon shows up later. So having bought a room, you can then spend your cash, you use this to just attract your cash here, to buy various other items. And you can see there's costs here. So if you want to buy an extra piece, like a floor piece, like these ones, or pillars, which you need to buy your castle, you can sort of buy several of these. And there are also these construction cards. You can spend some money on these, which give you like a random selection of, here we've got sort of pots of boiling oil, I think that's a ballista and some kind of brazier or something, and the battlement pieces. You can see if you manage to build a roof on part of your castle, then you can add these battlements, which will let you put things like the ballista on top, which will help you defend. So you then have a building phase. Having bought all this stuff, you decide how you're going to build it up. Now there are certain rules about this. So you can see some of these tiles here, if it's got a pillar here, a pillar has to go on that space there. But you can always add extra pillars. You obviously, more pillars make it more stable, but then you're not going to get as high. At the end of the game, you're getting points depending on how high it is. So you're trying to build it up in such a way that you can get the most comfort, defense, and attack ratings. You'll notice some of the rooms, this down arrow here means it has to be placed on either the bottom floor or the next one up. And some of them, like this one here, have to be placed on higher floors. So you go around trying to build up your castle, and then there's a guest phase where we flip over one of these cards and some guests turn up. So in this case, it's a princess and a knight. The princess, I managed to get a princess here, will go to the castle that has the highest comfort rating. The knight goes to the highest offense rating, and the king will go to the one with the highest defense rating. And then at certain rounds in the game, there's a little turn tracker here to show you how far you are in the game, and you can see these flames here means that on certain rounds you're going to get a dragon turning up potentially who will attack. The dragon does a certain amount of damage, and you can choose either to use your defense or attack to defend against the dragon, but effectively you're then going to be drawing shits out of this bag here, and they are going to destroy parts of your castle. So you sort of choose them to resolve. You might lose a pillar, or this one's going to kill one of your characters. But if you have a princess, you can sacrifice the princess to the dragon, and that substantially reduces the amount of damage that you have to take. At the end of the game, you get points for lots of things. So for having sort of roof tiles, or serfs, or battlements, or all these different kinds of things. The king, you notice you get quite a lot of points for having the king, 3 points for that one. And then whoever has the most comfort, defense, and attack scores points. And also whoever has the tallest tower at the end is scoring points, and most points wins. All right, what do we think?
Yeah, it's kind of a light dexterity kind of game with some elements of kind of engine building and that kind of stuff, but there is a fair amount of luck for what guests are going to come up and what cards you get for these battlements and stuff. My first one didn't have a wall, it just had stuff to stick on a wall, so I had to wait until the next round before I could get anything to put onto the wall I got. And I'd set up to get knights to come to my castle, but no knights turned up, so everyone was getting all of these guests that I couldn't get because I was waiting for knights to turn up. So it's got a bit of randomness, so if you're looking for something strategic, it's maybe a bit more luck based than you'd want, but it's nice building this and watching everyone else try to build their castle without knocking it down. So yeah, it's a fun game.
Steve?
Yeah, Matt said quite a lot of what I was going to say there. It is luck based. The cost in buying one of the cards that gives you all the kind of defense stuff is 4 coins out of your 5. And if you also want to buy a room that round as well, and you're not going first, you can't do both. So that seems like quite a lot to kind of gamble your 4/5 of your coins on something that might not give you the stuff you can place that round. You'll have to buy another one later. Another thing as well, there's like rooms that you can bid on, and whoever's going first gets first dibs. But it would have been nice from a gaming point of view for you to kind of choose whether you want to buy a room or do something else before someone else. If there were only maybe 2 of these and you could see what they were, and you had a choice of buying a room or buying one of these, then turn order matters a bit more. Here, it's whoever went first picked a room, then everyone else picked a room, and then you built simultaneously. So all this stuff in the middle was available to everyone simultaneously. So I like what it's trying to do, and I think what is really good about this game is the iconography is great. Jonathan was reading the rules out and we were just going, oh, it's just this, because we were reading off the board and off the sheet, and everything was super easy to kind of work out how many you could put where and how many points things would score. So that's great. I think as a game, I would have liked it to be slightly more gamery in terms of the bidding and the auction and the buying stuff, and less random, like Matt said, or for the game to be a bit shorter. It's kind of hit in the middle for me, so I have enjoyed my experience, but I think it either needs to be shorter or have more skill behind it.
Okay, Abel?
Oh yeah, components are really nice, I'll go with that. I agree with Matt about the look element. I don't want to be tempted to do a couple of house rules, maybe one of, you can buy one of these sort of battlement things for 2 gold, just so you don't get screwed over if you don't have them. I think also the visitors, if you could see what's coming up, so you actually know what you're planning for, because it is very, very random. I think the other thing is, it's supposed to be a dexterity game, but in reality it's not. It's okay, you've got to put things and you're building up, but the chance of you knocking things over, unless you're quite clumsy, is quite light and very small. So I don't really see it as a dexterity game. And I sort of disagree with Steve a little bit on the length. I'd actually go 1 length higher, just so the dexterity starts to kick in, where you can go to like 5 and 6 and 7 high buildings, just to really then maybe have a little bit of a chance of knocking things over.
Okay, rating?
I'd give it probably a 5.5.
Okay, Steve?
So I was the only person whose building fell over. So I was gambling, I was putting fewer pillars out and just to try and get that higher building. So yeah, it's not a dexterity game if you put 6 pillars on every tile, or however many pillars, 4 pillars on every tile.
4, yeah.
As a lot of people did. I was doing 3 and I got punished for it. So I think it's a bit of you can gamble, you can play it safe or you can not, and you choose to do what you want. I'm going to go 5 out of 10.
Matt?
And yet Steve, who gambled on putting fewer pillars on, ended up with the smallest castle. But yeah, I'd go 6 out of 10 for it.
Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting one, this one. And it's perhaps not one I would play with gamers in future. In terms of playing this with my family, I think they'd really enjoy it. And I had a good time, and I was expecting it to be quite light and luck-based, I suppose. So I didn't really go into it with that gaming mentality. But actually, I thought there was more strategy than I was expecting. I mean, I did quite badly. I came last. But I got halfway through the game and realised, oh my goodness, I haven't planned ahead for this, or I need to take account of this. I didn't really specialise. That was my problem. The other 3 guys each specialised in something, and I just had a little bit of everything. And so I didn't really get any of the characters coming to my castle, and so I struggled when the dragon attacked. I didn't have enough defence to attack, and it all just went horribly wrong. But I really enjoyed it, and I think Steve summarised the dexterity element well. There's a limited amount of dexterity, but it's sort of up to you as to how much risk you want to take, which I like. So I'd be on 7 out of 10. I think I had a good time. And I've also found some less hardcore gamers to give you their opinions on the game. So this evening I'm joined by
Chris.
Phil. And Matt.
And as I say, we just finished playing Castle Dukes. So Chris, what do you think?
Well, I thought it was good. I like the way that it's a bit like Jenga in that you have to build things, and I think my son is a bit young, but I think he would enjoy that building aspect of it. I think there's quite a lot of strategy to it, and I wonder if I want to say anything else interesting about it. No, I think that's it. I think it's a fun game. I think it's got lots of strategy, and as I say, I like the physical nature of it.
Okay, Phil?
Yeah, I like the fact that it's a good building game as well as strategy game, and it goes by a lot quicker than you realise it does. The turns come around really fast, and before you know it, the game is over. So you've got a lot to think about in a very, very short space of time. So it's really good because it keeps you on your feet.
Okay. Matt?
Yeah, it's good. Pleasingly short, pleasingly physical. Don't play it when you're drunk, because your castle will just collapse repeatedly all over everywhere. The only thing I really don't like is that the construction cards are random, and I just didn't get any battlements. But I've got loads of ballistas that I couldn't build. So that's annoying. But apart from that, it is good fun.
Okay, rating out of 10?
8.
Okay,
Yeah, I'd go for an 8.
all right. Chris?
I think go for 9.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks very much for watching. That was Castle Dukes.